The Thorium mod for Terraria has finally been updated after waiting so long. Thorium now supports Terraria 1.4 Journey's End, which means you can play on the newest version of tModLoader, in before the Thorium vs Calamity comparisons. Looks like I'll need to be updating my top 10 Terraria mods list now too. The Thorium mod is a huge content-rich expansion mod for Terraria, adding in a bunch of new items, NPCs and game-changing mechanics to the gameplay. Thorium adds in a lot of new weapons, armor and accessories to make the progression path different to vanilla, and along with this you have hundreds of different enemies and crazy bosses which are super challenging. Terraria is already abundant in biomes and tiles, but the new structures that the Thorium mod adds basically turns Terraria into a completely new game. Not to mention it makes changes to the other side of things. I'm talking about the fishing system and its new crafting system. This mod is designed to complement the base game, so you play it alongside it as an enhancement to expand upon the already existent content. So let's move on to some of the changes and additions added into the new version now that I've explained what the Thorium mod is to those of you who are completely uninitiated. So firstly, players will be happy that they can now play the mod in Journey or Master Mode difficulties, as Thorium has full support for both of these game types. The 1.4 content integration also lists all of the brand new creatures added by the Thorium mod straight into the Terraria vanilla Bestiary book. This means that you can browse and search for them and check out their loot tables and the descriptions in game without having to search externally via the wiki pages, which is quite useful so you don't have to have multiple tabs open, or if you don't have multiple screens like I do, then that will be helpful for you guys too. The NPC Happiness System though is also now supported. This basically means that there's biome preferences and other NPC preferences for all of the town NPCs which are added by the Thorium mod, as well as new princess dialogue for all of the NPCs to interact with her too. There's also a big overhaul to the UI system in the mod, one that's now entirely fully customizable also. To configure it, you just jump into the mod configuration section in the settings menu, and then you can use the client configuration of the Thorium mod to make your alterations. This will let you make changes to the health overlay styles on screen, for an example. And one thing to mention too is there's also a ton of new tips on the loading screens based on the Thorium mod, so if you have loading times you may want to check in the corner to see if there's any tips you didn't know about. Now, the update introduces a series of new classes, 3 of them to be specific, but the main one that you're probably going to be concerned about, or the one that's noticeable, is the Bard class. Since there's journey mode support, you can take advantage of researching modded items now too, so you can also eventually then duplicate them, although this of course doesn't work for any of the unobtainable items in the mod. Anyone using either of these two mods, the Heroes mod or Recipe Browser, will now be able to see categories for healing spells which are added in the mod's update too. This is located in the tools filter of these recipe browsers if you're looking for them. One of the most amusing things though about playing on 1.4 is that you can take advantage of Zenith, which is my favourite sword, to absolutely eviscerate all of the bosses in style. Basically being the only downside about playing mods back in 1.3.5 before, because when mods weren't updated yet to 1.4, you just couldn't spawn the Zenith in the old versions of the game. Although of course the Zenith is usually less effective against modded bosses that are post Moonlord of course, but it still looks sweet and it takes a ton of time to craft, so you know it's still an awesome weapon. A lot of the old weapons from the Thorium mod have also seen a visual upgrade, so you'll see a lot of changes in that regard too. This is meaning that many of the old particle effects have been rehashed and reworked in some way to look much better. Some examples of these are the Jungle's Wrath, the Hallowed Staff, High Tide, Old God's Vision, the Golden Locks, Worm's Decimator, Little Red and the Inferno Staff, all of which now look really amazing with their new visual effects, especially when you make a comparison to their old appearances too. You can see there's kind of subtle changes, but they do look much different. The Lich boss has also seen some big changes too, but mainly to how it's actually spawned. The original item which was used to spawn the boss was the Grim Harvest Sigil. This now has been completely removed however, so you need to enter a brand new biome which is added in the update, which is called the Graveyard. This basically spawns on the dungeon side of your world in the forest region. There's a shrine within this biome, and this is what you now use to actually summon the boss. But to activate it, you'll need to first defeat all 3 of the main mechanical bosses, and you'll also need to have 30 pumpkins in your inventory. This is the requirement for the spawning of the boss. Then you can activate the shrine to simply summon the boss. There's also an accessory that you can get within this biome, which is called the Spirit's Grace, which can be found here too if you're looking for it. So this is a nice little biome which looks visually pleasing, and it adds an extra step in the progression to spawn that boss. I'll now show you some extra gameplay of the Thorium mod, just killing some bosses and showing off some of the new content from the new update. If you like this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe, and drop me a comment below if there's anything I missed from the new update. There was a huge big change log from this update. I didn't feature absolutely everything, I mainly wanted to feature the main big changes, but I'd be interested to hear from you guys about anything that I did miss. And also let me know if you've played the Thorium mod before and what you think about it too, because there's been a lot of us waiting for this brand new update to come out for a long time, because we've had the Calamity mod now for some months, but the Thorium mod has kind of been behind in terms of updates. So it's nice that we have the two main content mods available to play. I'll make sure to be dropping you guys a top 10 Terraria mods video that's updated a little bit for this year very soon. I'm going to start working on that at some point, and the Thorium mod, of course, is going to have a place on that list. So thanks for watching, enjoy the gameplay, and I'll see you real soon.